Living with family after retirement. How to keep your peace and purpose. An opening note of reflection. Hello. I'm Ordinary People, your online neighbor, a fellow retiree. Today, I want to talk about something that's not easy to admit, let alone speak about lightly. Being forced to live with family after retirement because of financial reasons. Maybe this wasn't your dream. Maybe you imagined retirement as a peaceful time, your own home, planting flowers, reading books, savoring quiet mornings. But now, your room is a small corner in your child's house. Or you live with a daughter-in-law who isn't always easy to get along with, grandchildren who are noisy, routines that don't belong to you. This situation can feel like a loss of independence, loss of personal space, even loss of dignity. But I want to invite you to look at this differently, not to hide the pain, but to find new possibilities within these limitations. Because sometimes, the greatest meaning and peace come not from where we live, but how we live and relate. The awakening moment in this session will explore the emotional and psychological journey of retirees who find themselves living with family after retirement, not by choice, but by necessity. We'll uncover how this transition can stir deep feelings of loss and identity crisis, but also how it can open doors to new roles, deeper connections, and meaningful purpose. You'll learn from leading experts like Dr. Robert J. Waldinger, who studies the power of relationships, Dr. Laura Karstensen, who teaches us about aging with emotional clarity, and Dr. Nancy Schlossberg, who guides us through life's transitions. Most importantly, you'll discover practical, compassionate strategies to reclaim your sense of self, build healthy boundaries, and nurture your well-being, even within a crowded household. This is not just about surviving retirement. It's about thriving in a new chapter, full of wisdom, connection, and hope. So let's begin this journey together. The awakening of curiosity. Retirement is often portrayed as a time of freedom and relaxation. But for many, especially those who must move in with family due to financial constraints, it can feel like a loss of autonomy and identity. Dr. Laura Karstensen, director of the Stanford Center on Longevity, explains that with age, our emotional focus sharpens. We become more selective about what and who we invest our time in. She calls this the socio-emotional selectivity theory. It means we value meaningful relationships and peace more than ever. Yet, when that peaceful space, the home we once called our own, is replaced by a shared household, the emotional adjustment can be difficult. Dr. Robert J. Waldinger, director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development, reminds us that good relationships keep us happier and healthier. But what happens when those relationships are complicated by close quarters and differing lifestyles? Dr. Nancy Schlossberg, an expert on adult transitions, points out that changing roles in retirement, especially moving from being the head of a household to a guest or dependent, can trigger a crisis of identity. She calls this role discontinuity, which can cause feelings of invisibility or loss of purpose. On the other hand, Dr. Becca Livy's research shows that how we perceive aging and our circumstances deeply affects our mental and physical health. If we see this new living arrangement as a failure, it can harm us. But if we reframe it as a new chapter with different opportunities, our well-being improves. So the challenge is not just physical relocation, but emotional and psychological transformation. Insight 1. Build healthy boundaries. Living under one roof with family can bring joy, but also friction. Children, in-laws, grandchildren, all with their own routines and ways of communicating. You may feel the need to hold back your voice to avoid conflict. But losing your voice is not the answer. Dr. Mo Wang, a workplace psychologist who studies boundaries, emphasizes that setting healthy boundaries is essential for preserving self-respect and reducing stress. Here's how you can begin. First, talk openly but gently about your need for personal time and space. It might be a quiet hour in the morning or a corner of the house where you can read or pray undisturbed. Create a small sanctuary, a favorite chair, a reading nook, or a little altar. This space becomes your refuge, a place that says, "This is mine." Sometimes writing down your feelings in a journal can be a powerful way to process emotions without burdening others. Remember, boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are bridges that help relationships grow in respect and understanding. Insight 2. Discover new roles within the family. Retirement often means a shift in roles. From being the family's head to sometimes feeling like a guest or even an outsider. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg teaches that transitions like this can be disorienting but also full of potential. You can craft new roles that are meaningful and valued. For example, become the family's cultural keeper. Share stories from your past, pass down recipes, or teach traditions that keep your family's heritage alive. Offer small but consistent help welcoming grandchildren home from school, watering the plants, preparing a simple tea. Dr. Richard Leider, author of The Power of Purpose, reminds us that meaning is not found, it's made. You don't need to be economically productive to be valuable. Being a source of calm and wisdom in a busy household is a priceless gift. By embracing these new roles, you reclaim your identity and create a sense of belonging. Insight 3. Practice self-care with compassion. Self-care isn't selfish, it's essential, especially when living in a shared space that may feel overwhelming. Dr. Richard Leider's philosophy encourages us to build meaning through daily acts of kindness toward ourselves. Start with small, consistent habits. Dedicate 15 minutes a day to what you love reading, walking, listening to music, or watching inspiring talks. Join a community online or in person. Whether it's a retiree group, a prayer circle, or a hobby club, connection outside the household can rejuvenate your spirit. Don't neglect your body. Gentle exercise, enough sleep, and nutritious food are acts of self-respect. Even in limited spaces, these rituals become anchors of peace and self-worth. Insight 4. Cultivate emotional resilience. Adjusting to living with family after retirement requires emotional resilience, the ability to bounce back from stress and adapt to change. Dr. Becca Levy's research shows that positive attitudes toward aging can boost resilience and health. Practice mindfulness and gratitude. Each day, acknowledge small moments of joy, a smile from a grandchild, a sunny morning, a warm meal. When feelings of frustration or sadness come, allow yourself to feel them without judgment. Then gently redirect your focus to what you can influence. Dr. Robert Waldinger says, "Good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they protect our brains." Invest in nurturing kindness and patience within your family relationships. These strengthen your emotional foundation. Insight 5. Foster meaningful connections beyond the household. While family is central, meaningful connections outside the home are equally vital. Dr. Lovra Carstensen's work highlights that social networks become more selective, but deeply important as we age. Seek friendships that uplift you, neighbors, old friends, or new acquaintances with shared interests. Volunteer or mentor. Your life experience is a treasure to others. Technology can help bridge distances, video calls, social media groups, or online classes. These connections remind you that your world is bigger than your immediate surroundings, enriching your sense of purpose and belonging. The final light. Let's delve a bit deeper into the science of aging and relationships. The Harvard study of adult development, led by Dr. Robert Waldinger, is one of the longest studies of human happiness and health. It shows that the quality of our relationships, not wealth, fame, or status, predicts our well-being into old age. Dr. Lovra Carstensen's socio-emotional selectivity theory explains why older adults prioritize emotionally meaningful connections. This selectivity helps conserve emotional energy for what truly matters. Dr. Mo Wang's research on boundary management reveals that retirees who successfully negotiate personal boundaries experience less stress and better mental health. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg's transition theory reminds us that change is constant. and our ability to cope depends on our situation, self-support, and strategies. Together, these insights form a roadmap. Embrace meaningful relationships, set boundaries, adapt roles, and nurture yourself. From knowing to becoming. As we close this session, remember, you may be living in someone else's home, but you are not a burden. You are a root that nourishes the family tree. You are a living memory, a foundation that holds the house steady. Dr. Robert Waldinger said, "Good relationships don't just lengthen life, they give life meaning." Meaning doesn't depend on the size of your room or the independence you once had. Sometimes it is found in a heart that is open and a spirit that is willing to grow. You have wisdom, love, and value that no circumstance can take away. Until the next reflection before we part, I want to leave you with a question to carry with you. How might your story, your presence, and your love transform the household you now call home? What new meaning can you create in this chapter of life? I invite you to take one small step today. Speak your needs kindly but clearly. Find a quiet corner that is yours. Reach out to a friend or community. Remember, you are not alone. You are deeply important. And as Dr. Richard Leider reminds us, meaning is made, not found. So make today a day of meaning. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep shining your light. Because even in a small space, your light can be vast. With warmth and respect, I'm Ordinary People, your online neighbor, a fellow retiree. So remember, you're not alone. Click to subscribe to our channel and join our community of fellow retirees. Share your thoughts below and let's support each other on this new journey. Together, we can find meaning and hope in life's next chapter.